Hey everyone, I'm Josh Wright with Josh Wright Piano TV.
And I'm Hiram Weeble. I'm a piano technician with Salt Lake Piano Service here in Salt Lake City, Utah.
Today we're in Hiram's amazing shop. You can see piano plate being lifted off. I asked him if we could do a tutorial about how to clean your piano.
Yeah, we've had some tools that have been used in the industry for a long time that not a lot of piano owners know about. I get a lot of questions sometimes, how do I clean underneath the strings of a grand piano? A lot of dust collects there. So Josh was kind enough to let me give a demo of how I usually clean the pianos. So I'm excited to show you.
Yeah, I'm excited that we're doing this because I bought a piano that had been refinished on the inside a little bit a few years ago, and dust had just been collecting. I kept saying, oh, it doesn't look too bad. And then Hiram, when he was doing some regulation work on my piano, some tuning, he's like, do you want me to clean this? And I was like, well, sure, why not? And I was like, wow, I have a new piano again. So let's dive in and have him show us how he does it.
So let me just show you some of the basic materials first that I use when I'm cleaning, under a soundboard or whatnot. These are the tools that we make. Like I said, they've been in the industry a long time. This is just a really flat, flexible piece of steel. This is a brass, so it doesn't scratch the steel strings, and you can get in between them and you can scrub and whatnot. This is just t-shirt material. Just make sure it's clean, it doesn't have any like fibers on it that might scratch the finish of your piano. These are just microfiber rags. The length of this tool is about 2 feet, and this one a little bit less than that, 18 inches or so. Some people will sell like a set of 3 of these to technicians with different sizes, but I'm like, you don't need 3 sizes.
Why would you?
Yeah.
Oh, gotcha.
And the other thing
3
is,
sizes. Traditionally
they'll use this. Well, I'll show you when we get in the piano. Where they're just cleaning just this strip and like dusting that way. But I don't know about you, but my piano gets a lot more dust in it than that. And it's a pain. You have to pull it out, like vacuum it off every time. And it would take you like an hour to clean the piano. We're going to do it in about, 5-10 minutes, I think. Ours, we've improved a little bit. Some of the designs that you'll see, you can see we have stitching around the edge so that when you pull it in and out of the strings, it doesn't get caught. So that's kind of nice. This is a felt that you might use when stringing a piano. And we've doubled it up so it just lasts longer, because I used to buy these from another supplier, and then this metal part would poke out through it and I'd have to buy a new tool. I should probably explain this. This is just a product, auto body product, Meguiar's Ultimate Quick Detailer. If you have a satin finish, you don't want a lot of buildup, from like some waxy products or things like that. So you can use this to take off fingerprints or to, something, a little bit of grime that's just a little more stubborn.
Even on satin, because obviously high polish or the shiny finish, you could obviously use that. That's not going to hurt it. But I didn't know you could also use that on satin finishes.
Yeah, and Meguiar's is like everywhere. They also have a quick wax product. So with the quick wax, you could use that on a high gloss piano, no problem. And it'll actually give it more and more gloss over time. But you don't want your satin piano glossing over time. So we're going to demo on this 9-foot piano. Yeah. Because probably most of you at home have a 9-foot Steinway, I'm guessing. This is not a super old piano. So this might represent, for a lot of people might have a piano in this condition, and you can see how dusty it's gotten, just some of the dampers.
And honestly, this is probably about how dusty my piano was after 2 years of not cleaning it.
Yeah, it gets in there.
Yeah.
Let me show you what we do with this. You can take your t-shirt cloth material here. I'm gonna trim it a little bit.
Now, can you order that material? Like if I was gonna go to Amazon and or whatever source and say I want t-shirt material, like is that a common thing?
Yes. And you can also, like hardware stores in painting sections, right? They have a lot of cloths like this for cleaning, for painting. Okay, I forgot, I also need a paintbrush. I like to use one that's natural bristles, but that's because I'm cleaning a lot of pianos over and over, and the synthetic bristles, after a while, they'll kind of get all frizzed out and crazed. Okay. It makes it harder to scrub. First, I'm going to clean the tuning pin area.
This is really extensive. I don't know of any personal piano owner who does this. I'm sure they're out there, but you guys are getting the full bore. Like if you hired a piano technician to come clean your piano, and it's not that hard.
We're going to just scrub in here with the tuning pins. my wife would say at this point, you're doing it too fast. They can't tell what's going on. So
very technical.
But it's not technical. You wiggle the brush around, you know. You can get in all the nooks and crannies with this brush.
So that won't leave any swirls or scratches in the piano?
No, okay. It's very soft. Let me just show you with the vacuum off. With these dampers, only thing you really have to be careful of, you don't want to rub it in such a way that's going to grab it and twist it out of, really hard this way.
Yeah.
Because those wires are regulated, adjusted very particularly, right?
Uh-huh.
But you don't have to be scared of getting in there and cleaning them either. You can brush this way with a rag, Swiffer duster. It's going to be fine as long as you're just kind of light-handed.
Okay.
And honestly, I've never met anyone that messed up their dampers dusting them. So I think you'll be fine. You want to try it, Josh?
Sure. Okay, so.
Yeah, and just push and scrub. You're certainly not going to affect the tuning with the paintbrush. Let me show you something. If you have a hose like this piano's going to be, touched up, so I can do this, but see how I'm making those marks with the rubber for my hose?
Oh, yeah.
Now that'll just wipe off.
Oh, okay.
But still, I don't like to, so I'll hold the other end of your hose.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know what your vacuum hose at home is going to look like, but I'll put it over my shoulder. But I'm a blue collar worker. Josh has a suit coat on. I'll hold the hose for him. But that's one thing I watch, that you're not dragging across the key tops or something like that.
Sure.
But
okay.
in here, you just stab it. That's why I use those natural bristles. They're not crazy. You just stab it in there. You're not going to hurt a thing. And you see how it got underneath there?
Oh, nice.
Better?
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see it here. These bass strings, let's get a close up there. These get dust, in between the wrap. You don't want a lot of buildup on there. It can stiffen the string over time.
Okay.
So make sure you brush in there too. This will not tarnish the strings.
Okay. Good to know.
Fingers, very likely. So now these are already brown, but they're not shiny copper. But my hands tarnish strings really bad, so I'm very careful never to touch bass strings with my bare hands.
Good to know. Okay.
Yeah. Do you ever wonder when you get a piano used or or even new or rebuilt and it gets delivered in your home and there's all this junk right here? It's because when they moved it, right? They tilted it on this side.
Yeah.
So everything in the piano ends up right there. Then I'm just gonna move around. Now this piano's huge, right? It's 9 feet. That's why I got my 9-foot hose, but
Yeah.
So this is what I love about a brush, and if you can get the longer the bristles, the better, because you can get right through the bass strings on often. Some pianos it's a little higher, but I can get under there and I can scrub the bridge off through the bass strings, no problem, like this, right? And I can get under here too, so I'm gonna do that.
While we're here, just for those who don't know, can you give us just a quick overview of the anatomy? What's this called? What's this thing called?
Yeah.
What are these called? Just so they kind of know the anatomy of a piano.
This gold colored, this whole thing that surrounds it, this is the plate. Okay, it's made from cast iron, cast steel, some people say.
Okay.
I don't know what the difference is, but
Okay.
it holds actually the tension on one end of the strings where the strings hitch and anchor on these pins.
Okay.
It's incredible
thousands
forces, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the plate, okay? This board underneath, everywhere underneath, this whole perimeter in a grand piano, up to here, it's cut off there, is the soundboard, okay?
And that's the thing where if it gets cracked. when you're buying a used piano, that could be problematic, right?
It could, well, it's just usually an indication that the piano's probably not singing as well as it could otherwise.
And is there a fix for that or no?
Yeah, you can repair cracks and sound, but you have to be prepared to restring the whole piano.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Because you got to take the strings off to repair it.
Okay.
Or you can replace the soundboard too, but in the case of some manufacturers, the soundboard is the soul of that piano. Like Steinway shapes their soundboards in a certain way. They hand select the boards, things like that. And, you know, high-end pianos are going to do that. So you got to be careful what's being put in its place.
Yeah.
These are the bridges. Now the bridge, well, think of the soundboard as like the diaphragm of a speaker, okay? You know, it's given us our boom, right? We can, and the bridges, the strings pass over them, the vibration from the strings, that energy transfers through this hardwood piece. This is usually like a hard something, maple or something harder. And it transfers that energy down into the soundboard, which is free to vibrate, okay? Notice here on this piano, there's two bridges, a bass bridge for the bass section and a tenor and treble bridge, all one continuous piece. Your piano may have different configurations, but it'll look something like this with these pins kind of holding the string there.
The old pianos, like during Liszt and Brahms' time, I don't think they had this double crisscross, right?
The overstringing? Yeah, some of the first pianos were, there are some pianos that are straight strung.
Yeah.
But then they realized, oh, we can have longer bass strings, better sounding bass notes if we cross them over.
Sure.
So this is the rim, okay? That's pretty critical. And that's pretty much all we're looking at, right?
Perfect, yeah.
We've got the dampers here, tuning pins. Now I'm gonna go ahead and clean that bridge like we were talking about. I have no idea what that is. All right, so we drop that. It looks like a Lego, doesn't it?
So when you accidentally drop a Lego into your bass hole, this is how you get it out.
Yeah. I did that for demonstration purposes. That's why.
Absolutely.
Oh, sorry, you can grab that. Yeah, you can feel under there and you'll find it.
Yep. There we go.
Yep. And then your tool's all dirty right here, so you know you want to vacuum it off. If the piano's super dusty, you may want to start with your rag dry to begin with, okay?
Okay.
So you'll usually come in from this side, just drape. I'm gonna use a dry rag first, and then we'll follow it up with the cleaner on the rag, okay? Just to do a good dusty job. Yes, this could scratch your soundboard.
Okay.
You just make sure the rag's overlapped, okay? And we polish them so that, hopefully to help, but you can also get from the hardware store, you can get like that rubber, that liquid rubber that you can dip tools in, you know?
Oh, yeah.
You could do that and that would protect the end. I prefer to just have it skinnier and faster, but I'm just careful. All right, so then we're gonna stick, this is the difference how we use this tool versus, you know, what it was originally intended for. Scoot a rag around with it, you can cover so much more surface area.
I wasn't sure when you said that earlier what you meant by that, but that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, what it was originally designed for is you'd take this tool here and you'd wipe along this path. Then you'd have to come, vacuum that off, and go, you know, you leave all that junk there.
Yeah.
So I don't like that. So we're just gonna stick this on here and twist, and you know, people say like, oh no, you're gonna knock it out of tune. Well listen, look, I'm kind of just like bowing this string. Does a cellist worry when they bow their string that it's going to knock their cello out of tune?
Well, they do have not a metal bow, but
well, yeah, you know, but it's still their bow. You know, we're pushing that string just about as much. Plus, this string is strung at a way higher tension.
Definitely.
Now the friction, warming it up, Yeah, that if you like rub against the string a whole bunch, that'll warm the string up. It'll instantly go flat, and then when the temperature returns, it'll recover.
Okay.
But so if you're just careful, like I do this after I tune sometimes. It's not, you know.
Yeah.
But if you're really worried, you know, honestly, your piano's probably not to the degree of tuning that doing this will all of a sudden ruin the whole thing.
Yes.
It's probably just going to match the rest of the piano.
Yeah.
You know, if you're worried about it, just do it before your tuner comes.
Yeah. We'll also have to make a video at some point about how to touch up a unison.
Yeah.
Because that's been a game changer for me. With all the videos that I film on YouTube, there's just, and Hiram, and I have another guy that sometimes comes as well to tune, and it's like, I try not to make you tune every time, and vice versa with him, to give you guys a little break because I'm so demanding. But they'll come, and then it'll snow outside, and like the A4 is out of tune. And I'm like, I want to make them drive back just to tune one string. And he showed me how to do it. It was a game changer. So we'll come back at some point with a video on how to touch up a unison too, in case you're cleaning your piano and you knock something out. It sounds like we won't be doing that if we follow your instructions carefully.
Yeah, you should be okay.
Okay.
Basically, you stick it in there and get everywhere that you can reach from this standing point, and then I very carefully take this on top of the rag, and I'm going to run it just along this way. And notice I didn't dust over here yet, but this steel, this is its other purpose in life, is it to clean this area of the piano. And just get the rag in there and pull it out the side, and voila. And we have lots of dust here, but we'll vacuum that up.
Okay.
Then I might blow just one little puff, okay? So most pianos are not as difficult as this. Just kind of move the rag around with your hand.
Yeah, this is probably the most extreme example, barring someone just inherited their great grandma's piano that hasn't been tuned for 50 years. I mean, this is the biggest piano, and we're in an industrial shop where there's dust everywhere. And I mean, this is about as, and just the magnitude of this piano is about as extreme as you'll ever get. So
Yeah.
You'll probably have an easier time than what we're doing on this.
Yeah, definitely it's a lot faster with smaller. And the other thing about this tool with this brass rod, so a lot of pianos, it's really tight right here. So I'll actually bend this, okay? And then I can just get in this tight area right here on your smaller piano.
Oh, good to know.
And then no harm, just bend it back. And yeah, it wasn't as, you know, it's maybe not as pretty as it was to start, but it'll keep working for years and years. So we've dry dusted it. It looks a lot better than it did, right?
Definitely.
Take some of this, and if you're scared of this, or if I don't have this around, I'll just go to the sink, you know, just like you would dusting. Very, very light dampening of the rag, just so the dust sticks to it. You're not gonna affect the tuning with this degree of moisture. You're not gonna ruin the finish on your soundboard, okay? Despite your worst fears. So now I'm basically just doing the same thing, but it's with a wet rag, and so we'll get it just even a little shinier. Some people have said, oh, you're gonna knock all your dust into the action.
Uh-huh.
There's already a lot of dust in your action, spoiler alert, but it's not so, I mean, if it's really dirty, yeah, you might. But you'll notice right here, at least with the Stein,
Yeah,
I'm working on mostly on Steinways. Yeah, this guide rail, first of all, the dust isn't going on that. Now some pianos it's just open.
Oh, okay.
And you'll see it. So, you know, maybe just be careful when you're pushing the dust that way. And there's also this piece of wood right here that's kind of a border. So really the dust is all guided.
Good to know. Yeah. Does dust affect the sound at all on a piano?
Not really. And by not really, I mean no.
Okay.
I was being non-committal on that one.
So this is just cosmetic.
It's cosmetic.
Okay.
But it's preserving the perceived value of the piano. If you're ever going to resell your piano and you don't ever disturb the dust, it'll get caked on there, especially if you're in a real humid climate. I'm going to put a little bit of detailer on here. Now, the truth is, you cannot access everywhere once the strings are on, you know, but you can make it look a whole lot better, right? And
yeah, mine, it really looked like the day I got it. which it had just been refinished and polished up. So when you cleaned it, it looked the same as when I got it. It was amazing.
And if you do this, at least, every so often,
Every couple days. I mean, yeah.
That's maybe overkill.
I'm just kidding. No, like once a couple times a year, right?
Even just a couple times a year. Like a lot of times I'm tuning pianos twice a year, once a year, and I'm the only one that's doing it.
Yeah.
And they look really good.
Amazing.
I mean, a lot of it depends on the dust in your area, right? And your air filters and all that in the house. But yeah. So now I'm actually kind of really scrubbing. I'm pushing quite a bit. And maybe this will, if anything, just make you a little more brave when you're working on your dampers. Just push. And this cleaner is key for the dampers.
Yeah.
It lubricates it and actually pulls the dust off rather than just not pulling the dust off. I don't know what's the alternative. It's more effective this way. Let's see that. Beautiful nickeled hardware there.
Yeah, this really is looking so much better. It's crazy.
Does that look good?
That looks really nice.
So it looks good enough to you, you're done. But what if your piano's not a 9-foot Steinway?
Yeah.
I don't want to give a false impression that every piano that you clean in this way is going to turn out this way. So we're going to grab a much older, dirtier piano and just see, realistically what that looks like when we clean it.
Sounds great.
I mean, it looks a little different, huh?
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, a little bit.
It still looks like it's been through a fire. We're not gonna work magic.
I'm not gonna lie here. It's not gonna, but the soundboard we'll see on the video. Really, obviously, really nice. There's a lot more color coming through, and so it still looks antique-y, but intentionally clean and antique.
A lot better.
Yeah. So there you have it.
Awesome.
Hey, thanks for coming to the shop, Josh, and thanks for letting me show you all how we clean the grand pianos. If you needed those tools or you were interested in using them, you can purchase them off our website, which is saltlakepianoservice.com, or we also have them available through Amazon, and we'll have links in the description for you on that.
Yeah, thanks so much to Hiram and everybody here at Salt Lake Piano Service for letting us use your shop. I thought this would be a fun video, kind of out of the ordinary. So everybody have a great week and good luck in your cleaning and your practicing.